So in the previous lecture of Java, we talked about how to write the simple program. So now today I'm starting with the same. For example, I'm just saving my program. So I'm just click on file save. Here you can just give the name of your file. For example, I'm just writing the name of my file that is demo2.java, and I'm storing this program in D drive MCA2 Java folder. So this program is available in MCA2, that is D drive directory of. So first of all, you just need to move to that particular directory in command prompt to run your program. Now I'm declaring here class. So I'm just writing here class, that is for example demo2. Now we discuss about what is public static void main. It means public means it is accessible everywhere. Outside the class can also access the same. Static means no need to create the instance. It will be called automatically. Void means this function is not returning any value. Main is the entry point. So JVM will get that is main is declared. If it is declared, then it will execute the function main from here. And this string args array, that is the command line argument. This is what we explored in the last lecture. Now today I want to declare a simple variable. For example, integer number is equal to 10. Now I want to print this value. So how we can do this? So very simple, you can write here system.out.println and you can just write number. So if you write here number, then your number will be displayed. For example, let me run this. That is Java C. Program name is that is demo2.java. And now I'm running this class, that is Java demo2. It will simply print the 10. But sometimes people says that, sir, I want the square of this number. Can I? Yes, you can. You can simply write here number multiply by number and you will get the square of this number. So you just need to save your program, then compile your program again and then run the same. You will get the square of the given number. But sometimes people says that, sir, I want to display that this is the square. So it means that I want to concatenate the value. Can we do this? Yes. So suppose if you want to concatenate the value, then you can just write here plus, and whenever you write plus, your value will be concatenated. For example, is square of, and I'm just writing here number, that is the given number. So in short, if you want to concatenate the string, you can use the plus symbol. So plus symbol is used to concatenate. What happened in this program? Very simple. 10 into 10, it will be 100. So 100 is a square of, then I'm just concatenate the number over here. So it will simply print 100 is the square of 10. So whenever you run this, you will get the message 100 is square of 10. Suppose if you are writing like this, system.out.println, and if you are writing that square of, and I'm writing here number, and that is equal to, now I'm writing here number multiply by number. Now what happened in this case? Whenever you run this, for example, Java C demo2.java, it will print that the square of 10 is equal to 100. So what happened in this case? Very simple. Square of the number is equal to number multiplied by number. So in short, you can say that your message will be concatenated. You can just concatenate the string and your arithmetic operation. But instead of multiplication, I just want to do addition. Now what happened in this case? Whenever you run this, for example, Java C demo2.java, it will print that the square of 10 is equal to 10. It is not correct. Why it happens? So you need to understand what, for example, whenever you are doing plus is treated as a concatenation as well as it is treated as an arithmetic. For example, let me write here that is system.out.println. I'm writing number plus number. So it should be 10 plus 10. It should be 20. So whenever you run this, you will get the message that is 10 plus 10 is equal to 20. Yes, it is correct. But suppose if you are concatenating the string over here, and that is what, for example, addition is equal to, now it will become 10. Why? Because you are getting first string. So once you get the string, this string will be concatenated with the addition. So it will be addition is equal to 10, and then the 10 will be simply concatenated with the same string. So I want the addition, that is 10 plus 10 is equal to 20. What to do in this case? Very simple. You can just write this in a bracket. So BODMAS rule is here, and whenever you write bracket, you will get the message that is addition is equal to 20. But suppose if you are writing number plus number first, for example, if I am writing here like that, that is number plus is equal to, and that is addition. See, suppose if I am writing like this, then definitely I will get the 20. For example, let me compile this JavaC demo2.java. So it says that 20 is equal to addition. It means what internally the compiler is doing. If it is getting the integer plus integer, then it will simply make the addition. If it is integer plus integer, then it will simply make the addition. Plus, if it is a string, then your integer will be added with the string. So what happened in this case? Integer plus integer, you are getting 20. But suppose if you are not writing bracket over here, then the calculation will be little bit wrong. And that is what? In the first case, it will display me addition is equal to 10, 10. In the second case, it will display me that is 20 is equal to addition. So if you are writing integer plus integer first, then it will simply make the addition. But if you are writing integer plus integer after the string, then it will convert your integer into string, and you will get the output that is 10, 10. So in this case, what happened? Your integer is simply concatenate with the string, and that is the reason why I am getting here 10, 10. To resolve this issue, very simple, use the bracket. So whenever you write the bracket, your problem will be resolved. So what happened in this case, your string will be displayed, that is addition is equal to, then your bracket will be evaluated, that is number plus number, and you will get the message that is 10 plus 10, and that will be 20, and you will get the message that is addition is equal to 20. But it happens with the only addition. It never happens with the multiplication. For example, if you compile this particular program, if you are writing like this, square of the number, and if you are not writing a bracket over here, then still it will work fine, and you will get the message that the square of the 10, that is 100. So in this case, it not happened. Why? Because multiplication is doing the multiply and plus is doing the concatenation in this particular case. But in this particular case, it will be confused that this is the addition or concatenation. In this case, I have to use the bracket. That's it. Now, people says that, sir, how many data types are there and which are the data types that we can use? So basically, there are 8 data types available in Java. So let me save this particular program as that is demo number 3. And I want to mention here how many data types are there and which data types are available. So basically, you can say that there are 4 categories of data type available in Java. The first category is known as that is integer data type. So integer will be what? There will be no floating point value. So you can say byte, short, integer, and long are the 4 integer data type which never stores the floating point value. It always stores the integer value, that is you can say discrete value. But the second, that is you can say floating point category. So floating point category, there are 2 data types are there. The one is float and another one is double. The third category is known as a character data type. It is used to store the characters, and you can say that data type is char data type. The fourth category, and that you can say that is the Boolean category, in which Boolean data type is there. Boolean data type has the possible 2 values, and the one is true or another one is false. Character represents the 2 byte in Java. In C language it is 1 byte, but in Java it is a 2 byte, just because it stores the Unicode representation. So you can say that you can store your native language also, like Gujarati, Hindi, Chinese, uh, any language other than the English, if you want to store, then you can using the character data type, and that is the reason why char has the 2 bytes, and you can say it is a Unicode representation. Floating point value, that is you can say float and double. Float has you can say 4 bytes and double has 8 bytes. 4 category: integer, float, character and boolean. Integer has the 4 variety. You can say byte has the 1 byte, short has the 2 byte, integer has the 4 byte, and long has the 8 byte. So let me give the example of the same. For example, if it is a 1 byte, then the 8-bit representation. So you can say maximum value in the byte, that is in positive it will be 127, and in negative it will be minus 128. So people says that, sir, how we can know that the data type of byte having the which is the highest value and which is the lowest value? So you can simply write here, that is system.out.println byte is the class dot, you can get the mean value, and you can get the, that is byte dot max value. Students, if you are writing byte in a small, then it is a data type. But if you write B capital, then byte is a class. And this class has the constant, that is mean value and max value. And you will be able to get the value. And that is what? Java C demo. Here I just need to change the name of my class. So I'm writing here class demo3, java c demo3.java. I'm writing here java demo3, and you will get the value that the byte has maximum value, that is 127, and the minimum value, that is minus 128. In short, you can say byte storage is between, that is minus 128 to 127, and that is the reason why it is a 1 byte. Suppose if you want to know that what is the range of integer, then you just need to write here, that is integer. Integer is the class. If it is a I capital, integer is the class. Then you will get the value of integer. But students, there is a one data type in between, that is byte, and integer there is a one data type, that is short. So you can say short has the minimum value, that is minus 32,768, and maximum value in the short, that is you can say, that is in plus, you can say 32,767. But if it is a float, then minus 2147483648, and if it is a float positive, then it is a 2147483647. So this is the range of integer. For example, if you look carefully, then you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 digit, but the maximum range value is from 2 to 2. It means you cannot store mobile number. You cannot store mobile number if your data type is integer, right? So for that you need to take your data type, that is long. So what is the range of the long? Long is 8 byte. So you can say it is a 64 bit. So if you want to get the long dot mean value and long dot max value, it is sufficient to get to store the value, and it is enough. You can just check, this is the value. See, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. It means we can store the Aadhaar card number 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. So range is more than the population of the whole world, right? So you can definitely store the any number over here in a long, and that is the same range available in the negative also, and the same range available in the positive also. So this is the way you can find the range of the particular data type. Suppose if you think that, sir, I want to get the range of the floating point also, then you can just write here, that is float dot maximum value. So float is the class. Float is the class, and the class name in Java is written with the first letter capital in each word. Here you can write double dot mean value, and here you can write double dot max value. So you will get the exponential value, that is in a floating point, and you will get that 1.4 e raised to minus 45 up to 3.4 e raised to, and that you can say 38. That is the floating point. And if it is a double, then e raised to minus 324. E is an exponential value up to e raised to 308. In short, it is enough to store the any value. So this is the way you can get the range of the particular data type. But what is a cycle and how we can store the value that is more than the size? Suppose if the maximum size is 127, in this case byte, but I want to store 130. Can we? No, you cannot. But still, if you want to do this, then forcefully you can do this, right? And whenever you do forcefully, that conversion is known as a narrowing conversion. So we will talk about the conversion data type. But before this, I just want to declare simple variable, so you will get the idea. So I'm just saving this particular program as demo4.java. Now I just want to give you demonstration of each and every data type. For example, I'm just writing here byte b is equal to 10. Right now I'm just printing this, that is system.out.println b. Then it will simply print the value of byte. Let me change the name of the class, that is demo4. So I'm just writing here java c demo4.java. Now I'm writing java demo4. I'm getting the value of byte, that is 10. Suppose if I'm trying to store the 127, right, that is the maximum value of byte. So I'm just trying to store this. It will work fine. Suppose if I'm trying to store 130, if I'm trying to store 130, then it will give me an error. And the error will be what? Possible loss of conversion. It means the maximum range is up to 127. So you cannot store the 130. But what if I want to store forcefully? So if you want to store it forcefully, then you can cast into byte. So you can say that I know that this value is bigger, but cast into byte. So if you cast into byte, then you will get the value that will be in a cycle. And what is cycle? It means, suppose if you run this, you will get minus 126. Why I am getting minus 126? Just because, see here carefully. The range is what? Minus 128, minus 127, minus 126, minus 125, minus up to, you can say minus 1. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to, you can say 127. This is the range of byte. Now I'm trying to store 130. It means the range is out. So you can say 127 is the maximum limit. So what happened in this case? I want to store 130. So 127 plus 1, it will be minus 128 here, plus 1, that is 127, that is minus, that is 129, and this will be your 130th value, and you will get the output, and that is minus 126. Suppose if you are storing here, that is 255, right? Suppose if you are storing here, that is 255, then you will get the value minus 1. And if you are storing exact 256th number, then you will get the number, and that will be 0. Why 0? Because in positive, that is, you can say this is 127 plus 128 up to minus 1, so 255. So your 0 will be the 256th number. So you will get the value in a range of byte only. Why? Because you are casting into byte. But sometimes people say that, sir, I want to make the addition of the 2 byte number. Can we do this? Whenever you do the addition of the 2 byte number, for example, let me save this demo number 5. This is really an interesting example. Most of the people who does not have the foundation knowledge are doing the mistake in this particular example. Please see carefully. I'm writing byte b is equal to 10. I'm writing here byte. This is my variable number. So I'm writing here number 1 is equal to 10. Number 2 is equal to 20. Now I'm making here simple addition, and that is byte sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2. And now I'm just printing here, that is system.out.println sum is equal to, and I'm just concatenate the sum variable over here. I'm just saving this program, and whenever I compile this, I will get an error. Whenever I compile this program, that is Java C demo5.java, I'm getting an error. And the error is what? That is possible type, possible lossy conversion from integer to byte. The number is, that is 10 and 20. 10 and 20 is still in a range of byte. And still you can say 30 is in the range of byte. Then why I am getting an error, that possible lossy conversion? Because arithmetic with the 2 byte, in short, arithmetic, that is plus, minus, divide, multiply, arithmetic with the any byte result into integer, and you are storing the value into byte. So there are two ways. Either you can declare your byte variable as an integer. Either you can declare your byte variable as an integer and you can resolve your issue. So whenever you run this, you will get the output, that is sum equal to 30. This is the one way. And the second way, suppose if you think that, sir, I want to make byte only. So if you want to make byte only, then you need to cast into byte. In short, number 1 plus number 2 is an integer, and this data type is byte. So you cannot store integer into byte directly. You need to cast into byte. Why? Because the capacity of the integer is the larger than the byte. So higher capacity cannot be inserted into lower capacity without the type conversion. So I have to write byte over here. If I'm writing byte, then what happened? Still, there is an issue. And the issue is what? This number 1 will be converted into byte. This number 1 will be converted into byte. This number 2 will not be, right? So what I need to do? I need to first make the addition, and that addition I need to convert into byte. So now the issue will be resolved and I will get the output, that is sum is equal to 30. But students, what happened in this case? Suppose if your range is larger than the size of byte, for example 110 plus 20, it will be 130, right? So it will give you minus 126, and the reason you know very well. So this is the way you can do this. But remember, whenever you make the addition of the any 2 byte, it will automatically type promotion will be there, and not only addition, multiplication, subtraction, type promotion will be there, and it will be converted into integer. So either you need to declare your data type as an integer, or you need to cast into your desired data type. So this type of conversion is known as a narrowing conversion. Why? Because you are storing, that is, your integer into byte. So you need to cast over here. But if you want to store your byte into integer, then no need to cast. For example, let me take one more example, and that is demo number 6. Now what I want to do? I want to take one number, that is byte number 1 is equal to 100. Now I'm writing here integer I is equal to number 1. Now no need to cast. This I will carry the value of byte, and it will be automatic conversion. No need to cast in this case. I just need to save this as demo number 6. So I just need to write demo6.java, and whenever I write Java demo 6, this will be automatically done. You can say that this is the automatic conversion, right? And this type of conversion is known as a widening conversion. So automatically your number 1 is a byte, so lower value will be stored into higher range automatically. That type of conversion is known as a widening conversion. Some people says that this is the implicit conversion. This is implicit conversion, but I need to cast. In which case, for example, if I am writing byte and that is b is equal to I, now I cannot store this I, still it is 100, still it is in a range, but I is of type, data type is integer, and whenever you are trying to store integer into byte, you need to cast it, otherwise it will give you an error. You need to cast it, otherwise it will give you an error, and that is the incompatible type, possible loss. So what I need to do? Simple, I need to cast it into byte, and whenever I cast it into byte, and whenever I print this I and byte both, I will get the value, and the value will be what? Yes, I need to close this. So whenever I run this, javac demo6.java, java demo6, and I will get both as 100. This first 100 is integer and the second 100 is, that is byte. So students, you can say this is the explicit conversion. So now the question is, which data type to which data type is a implicit conversion and which data type to which data type is a explicit conversion? So very simple. If your size of the byte is larger than the other type, and if you are storing 4 into 8, you will be able to store automatically. So it's an implicit conversion. So you can say that byte to sort integer and long is implicit conversion. So automatically will be there. Whenever you store byte into store, automatically it will be done. Integer, long, it will be automatically done. In sort to integer and long is implicit conversion. So you can say whenever you store sort into integer or long, it is also a implicit conversion. Whenever you store integer to long, it is implicit conversion. Same in the floating point data type. For example, if you store float to double is implicit conversion. This is all about a numerical data type, that is integer and floating point. But in which case it is a explicit. For example, if I am storing long to integer, short or byte, then it is explicit conversion. Why? Because I am trying to store the long, and long as the 8 byte I cannot store into integer. Long as the 8 byte I cannot store into short. Long as the 8 byte I cannot store into 1 byte. So it is an explicit conversion. So I need to cast into required data type. Whenever you write here, that is for example integer to sort or byte, then it is explicit conversion. Why? Because I am storing the integer into sort, then definitely the integer has the higher capacity than the sort and byte, and that is the reason why I need to use the explicit conversion. Whenever you store the sort into byte, then it is also a explicit conversion. And whenever you are storing the double into float, then it is a explicit conversion, right? And whenever you are storing any numerical value into floating point or any floating point value into numerical, at that time also you can say it is a explicit. Why? Because in a case of the, for example, if I am storing the long into float, right? So let me give the example. I'm just taking one more example here, demo number 7. Now what I want to do, I want to declare here class, that is demo 7. Now I'm declaring here variable, and that is long. L is equal to, for example, 1002, right? That is the value of long. Now I have one variable, that is float, and that is, you can say pi is equal to 3.14f. Now I want to store the float into long. As you all know, float has the 4 byte. Float has the 4 byte and long has the 8 byte, right? So 4 can easily store into 8, but still I cannot store, that is L is equal to pi. Why? Because whenever I write like this floating point, that is 0.14, will be truncated, and whenever it is truncated, compiler will not allow me to compile this program without explicit type conversion. So whenever I compile this, it will give me an error, incompatible data type. Why? Because the destination data type is long and the passed data type is float. So I need to convert into required data type. So here, in which data type I need to cast? It is very simple logic. Whenever you write here any data type, that will be as similar as your destination data type. So you need to cast it into long. So whenever you write a long over here, you will not get an error, right? And whenever you print over here, for example, system.out.println L, then your floating point will be truncated. Then your floating point will be truncated and you will get the result. For example, let me compile this. Java C demo7.java Java demo 7. So I'm getting here there is 3. It means that the floating point, that is point 14, is truncated. I'm getting only integer part value over here. So you can say that this is your pi is your floating point value and I'm casting into long, right? So you can say that the size of the long is higher than the float. Size of the long is higher than the float. Then also it means whenever you cast it into float to long or integer or sort or byte, then also it is explicit conversion. And explicit conversion is known as a narrowing conversion, right? And the same rule applies to double. Whenever you cast it into double to long, integer, sort and byte, then also you can say it is an explicit conversion. In short, you can say that byte to sort integer long is implicit. It means this is my byte and I'm storing my byte into sort. So it will be automatic conversion. I no need to write over here that is cast it into sort. Why? Because the size of the sort is larger than the byte and it will be implicit conversion. But if you are writing like this, for example, that is long L is equal to, for example, 1000, and you are writing integer I is equal to L, then you will get an error. In this case, you need to cast it into your destination data type, and here our destination data type is integer. This is our destination data type. So long to integer casting is required, and whenever casting is required, this category is known as an explicit conversion. Explicit conversion is known as a narrowing conversion, and implicit conversion is known as a widening conversion. Now I want to give you a demonstration about that is Boolean and char data type. So let me save this program as demo number 8. Now what I want to do? Very simple. I want to give you a demonstration of that is character and Boolean data type. So students, please see carefully. Whenever you want to declare a character variable, you can just write char C is equal to capital X. And I'm writing here one more variable, that is D is equal to 65. Now I'm writing here system dot out dot print line, and whenever you print C, you will get the X. For example, Java C demo 8 dot Java demo 8. See here, I'm getting X. Suppose if I'm concatenating over here and if I'm passing here D, right, then you will get the value, and that will be what? That is X and A. It means 65 is the ASCII value. And one of the interesting thing is what? Suppose if you are writing here that is C plus D. C plus D. So X has a, that is ASCII value, that is capital X. ASCII value is 88. Why 88? Because capital Z has the ASCII value 90, capital Y 89, and capital X has the ASCII value that is 88. So whenever you do the addition of this two, then you will get the 88 plus 65 and it will be 153. So this is what the char data type is. Suppose if you want to declare a Boolean data type, and Boolean data type is interesting. Please see carefully. Suppose I am writing here demo 9. Now, how we can declare the Boolean data type? Very simple. You can write Boolean B is equal to, for example, false. Now I'm just providing here system.out.println, and that is B is equal to plus B. Then you will get B is false. For example, Java C, and this is demo number 9 dot Java demo 9. Then you will get the value B is equal to false. Now I'm just writing here that is if B, then print the message B is true, else system.out.println B is false, right? So if you run this, you will get the message that B is false, but I'm just writing here that is B is equal to true. So if you write B is equal to true, then here you can just give the message B is now true. So I'm just compiling this particular program. B is equal to false, but I assigned the B equal to true. Then if B, so if condition is executing this particular portion and I'm getting that B is now true. So logically, whenever you want to store the value true and false, at that time you can use the Boolean data type. In the C language, we did the program of prime number, and that particular case we store the value 0 and 1. So whenever you are storing the value 0 and 1, at that time you can declare the Boolean data type and you can store false and true. It store only two values, that is true and false. You cannot store B is equal to 0 or you cannot store B is equal to 1. So not only this, whenever I declare any data type, it should automatically get the data type. Is this possible over here? This happen in Python. Is this possible in Java? Yes, it is possible. Please see carefully. Demo number 10. Sometimes people says that, sir, I don't know about the Boolean data type, but I want to store true and false, and automatically compiler should understand that this is the Boolean data type. Can we do this? Yes, you can declare the variable, and that is where B is equal to true, then this B will be your Boolean data type. You can write where I is equal to 100, this I variable your, that is integer. You can write variable str is equal to Atmiya, then this str will be your string variable. You can write here variable pi is equal to 3.14f, then this pi variable will be your floating point. Whenever you write here d is equal to 3.14, but this is, you can say, your double variable. And I'm writing here variable c is equal to capital A, then you can say this is your character variable. Now I want to print all this. So whenever you print over here, that is B, then I want to print I, then I want to print string, then I want to print pi, then I want to print a double value, then I want to print a character value. Is this possible? Yes, this is possible. You can compile this particular program, javac demo 10.java, and you will be able to access the value true, 100, Atmiya 3.14, 3.14 and A. So all the data type is there, but listen carefully. Listen carefully. You cannot change the data type once it is declared. For example, suppose if you are printing over here, and that is what, for example, I'm just doing here, that is system.out.println I plus pi plus D, right? I'm just doing what? I plus pi plus D. So whenever you compile this, you will get the value 106.27999. Why? Because 100 plus 3, that will be 103, plus 3, it will be 106, and 0.14, that will be 0.2799999. Now I want to print only 2 digit, that is, you can do this, that we will do in the next lecture. But today I want to give you demonstration about what you cannot change. For example, if it is a B, then you can declare B is equal to false. Yes, it is fine. You can declare here B is equal to false. It is fine. And you can print here, that is B is equal to, earlier it was true, now it is false. But you cannot change the data type. For example, if you write here that is B is equal to now 1000. B is equal to now 1000, and now compile the program, you will get an error, that is incompatible data type. It means B is declared with the Boolean, and now you cannot assign the integer. So once you declare the value, automatically compiler will identify this is the type Boolean. Compiler will identify this is the type integer. Compiler will identify this is the type string. Compiler will identify this is the float. compiler will identify this is the double, compiler will identify this is the character, and then later on you cannot change the type, you can change the value. For example, if you are writing here that is C is equal to capital D, then it's okay, there is no error at all. You can change the value, but you cannot change the data type. For example, if I'm writing here AU, then it will give me an error. You cannot change the data type. So you can declare the type where, and using where you can declare any data type, and compiler will automatically identify this value is of type which. You can change the value later on, but you cannot change the type later on. The same rule that is as previous available. So that's it from my side.